Okay, we worked for an hour or so on Baby Blue today, made some good progress. I think the piece is kind of complete from beginning to end at this point. And then I went back and started like tweaking a lot of sections that had been bothering me. The section that I think was kind of the roughest still. For those of you that haven't been following along with this project, this is like a progressive house track, and it's just general EDM here. Starts with a big sort of ambient that sort of sound, and then we slowly build up through some cool words, and then build into a nice drop. Very trancy in that spot. Then we have a kind of a second drop. A little bit less trancy, but still pretty trancy. And then a big cool down section with a cool guitar solo. And then this section here where we're building back into our kind of like final drop area with the full beat. And this section had always been kind of like kind of split personality. I was trying to like make it a smaller, tighter sound while also not completely moving away from the big expansive reverby space that we've been in for a while, or for this whole piece. And someone in one of the comments was like, you should just try like really going ham on making it tight and small in that space. It was a nice contrast. I'm like, you know what? I've had that thought for a while too. Hearing someone else verbalize it kind of gave me the motivation to try. So I'll play kind of this guitar section into this section, which is the section we worked in, and into the drop here. You can kind of tell me what you think about this. Listening to it just now, I think I figured out something I really do want to change. The thing that was really, I still didn't like that transition, this guy. I do like the space change, but it still feels wrong, and I think the main thing is the bass. We kind of just like take the bass here and mute it, and take the bass here and mute it, and like that doesn't solve the issue on its own, but I think what I really want to do is basically have this drop go up and then have this guy be completely alone. And then slowly add layers back in, which will make it really cool when on the drop we again have it like kind of like by itself. It'll like kind of like have this little section, then we'll like reference that again before going back into the full big expansive drop. So I think that's probably what I'm gonna do here, is cut all the sounds out, like build up, and then just drop out to like, so if I do it like, if I can just do it manually. And then have other things come in there, you know? It's like there's like one measure of it or something like that. I think that'll be pretty cool. I got stuff I gotta go do, so I might do that tomorrow. But I'm excited to make that happen. I might come back to it later tonight. Anyways, yeah, that was the biggest thing we worked on today, was like moving away from that. A lot how we did that on this section. We put these guys. The main thing is this gate. So there's this kind of this weird kind of like crunchy reverb that's built into the serum patch that we made. Actually, this might be a preset. I don't remember if I made this one, but because it is a reverb tail, there is always going to be kind of a pretty noticeable drop off in decibels, which makes a gate a perfect thing to solve this problem. So I just kind of moved the threshold, put the attacks and release like at 0. I want them to. I want it to be like a really hard cutoff. I'm even okay if there's a little bit of a snap to it, but then just move the threshold till it sounded good. I also did some. I tried to like it was kind of like woofing in certain spots, and I really tried doing some like spectral EQing on this, just like multi-band spectral EQing, kind of moving the bands, making different spots. I don't know if you need to do multi-banding when it comes to spectral EQ removal. Like it's moving each. It seems to be doing like every frequency has its own band. So I think this might be even just kind of a complete waste of time. But the sad part was I really can't hear a difference if I sit here and just play this and like. That on? No, that's off. See, like I'm actually, I pressed the button a bunch of times, so I'd kind of like forget whether I was hearing it on or off, and see if I could like tell the difference. And like I can tell that something's changing, but my ear's just not good enough to like know the difference. And honestly, if I turn this effect off, I don't think I would miss it. So still learning about that one with that guy there. But otherwise, yeah, we just like chopped off the tails of everything, muted things. We muted all of the kind of big riser sounds, you know, the psh sort of stuff to like kind of clean that section up there. That was the biggest thing. So I think kind of trimming everything back and letting that guy just be by itself will be a pretty cool little moment there. The other thing I realized was I have been using this setup, this was a few episodes ago, where I put my master chain on its own bus and then have this bus going to the stereo out. And on the stereo out, there isn't anything. Today I put a limiter on the stereo out that's just like literally just grab anything that's hitting over 0 decibels, because I realized that as I put new channels in, as I'm like dragging sounds in from Splice, they are by default going to the stereo out. And I have a number of sounds now that I've gotten used to the way they sound, and I like where they're at outside of the master mix, which I don't know, seems like the wrong way to do things, and definitely bypasses the limiting. If I turn off this limiter, you can hear kind of on the drop here, you'll watch it, it's already over there. We're like well over, even just on the drop itself. It peaks just a little bit. This little bass downer here, this guy, not that guy, this guy, I'm pretty sure by himself is making up for a pretty sizable jump over. So I put this limiter on there to kind of deal with that guy. And it sounds fine, it's good there. But I tried, I was like, I figured it out with this guy. This was the first guy I noticed that with, and so I put him back on the master mix and instantly didn't like the way it sounded. And I was like, I'm not going to sit here and tweak this till it makes sense going through all of the post-processing when I could just put a limiter on here. It's not peaking that much more. And let it ring out the way it's ringing out right now. So, but on the other hand, like our little drum hit here, this guy, well, you know, that guy wasn't going through the post-processing and was really getting lost in the mix. And the moment I told it to go to bus 10 where that master mix is, instantly it sounded better. I was filling more the space I wanted to, and now I want to make that tail longer because I actually like that sound. So little lessons to learn, that if I'm going to use a master mix bus instead of just putting my master processing on the stereo out, which I do think is a good thing for me to be able to kind of bypass that if I want to like do some diagnostics, some troubleshooting. I do need to remember every time I make a new channel, unless that channel is in a subheader. When I've been making new channels in the sidechain bus here, this bus is already going to bus 10, and anything that's made in here automatically goes to this bus, so then that's fine. But if I'm just kind of like putting loosey-goosey channels out here that aren't in some sort of stack already, I got to make sure I send those to the master mix bus, otherwise they will be going to the stereo out by default. So that's all I had time for today. I think I did a few other things as well, but I don't really remember them. It was kind of a flurry of work in here, and we're getting some good sounds out of it all. Those were definitely the most interesting moments. Thanks so much for watching. See you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.